Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day to our lecturer and my groupmates. Our group comprises of 6 members from class ADM501C. That includes me, Siti Aisyah, Muhammad Imran, Alia Atira, Sharwina, Wan Nur Syafiqah and Aidil Hakimi. So today, our group will be discussing on tutorial presentations in organizational behavior subject. The first question is about emotional labor with 4W and 1H. So, generally, emotions are physiological, behavioral, and psychological episodes experienced toward an object, person, or event that create a state of readiness. Emotions are experiences. They represent change in our physiological state, for example, blood pressure and heart rate. Not only that, psychological state such as thought process, and lastly behavior like facial expression. Most of these emotional reactions are subtle. They occur without our awareness. Finally, emotions put us in a state of readiness. When we get worried, for example, our heart rate and blood pressure increase to make our body better prepared to engage in fight or flight. Strong emotions trigger our conscious awareness of a threat or opportunity in the external environment. Whereas emotional labor can be defined as the effort, planning, and control needed to express organizational desired emotions during interpersonal transactions. Most job expects employees to engage in some level of emotional labor, such as displaying courtesy to unruly passengers or maintaining civility to coworkers. Often, employees are supposed to show emotions that are quite different from the emotion they are actually experiencing at the moment. There are 4 types of emotions, which includes high activation negative emotion, high activation positive emotions, low activation negative emotions, and low activation positive emotions. All emotions evaluate environmental conditions as good or bad, helpful or harmful, positive or negative, and so forth. Negative emotions tends to generate stronger levels of activations than do positive emotions. Fear and anger, for instance, are more intense experiences than are joy and delight, so they have a strong effect on our actions. This balance asymmetry likely occurs because negative emotions protect us from harm and are therefore more critical for our survival.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aidil Hakimi bin Muhammad Yusuf. I'm from class AM283C. Today I will present some part of the topic of emotional labor. First of all, emotional labor refers to the someone who managed his or her emotion towards someone else, and this thing will assume as a part of their professional work role, and the meaning of the word of who refer to the staff or any workers in the organization. Okay, next one. Usually, emotional labor will apply when any conflict arises. For example, any conflict from workers, personal problem, or any conflict between the customer with the worker or staff. Okay, the last one is the place that is suitable for worker or staff to apply this emotional labor. Okay, the emotional labor were suitable to apply in the workplace or any place that been set for the customer to deal with the any worker. For example, at the restaurant, at the boutique, or anything else.
Furthermore, how do we manage our emotions at work? People are expected to manage their emotions in the workplace. They must conceal their frustration when serving an irritating customer, display compassion to an ill patient, and hide their boredom in a long meeting with other executives. These are all forms of emotional labor. Almost everyone is expected to abide by display rule, norms, or explicit rules requiring us within our role to display specific emotions and to hide other emotions. Emotional labor demands are higher in job requiring a variety of emotion, for example, anger as well as joy, and more intense emotions such as showing delight rather than smiling weakly, as well as in job where interaction with clients is frequent and longer. Emotional labor also increases when employees must precisely rather than casually abide the display rules. This work requirement is most common in service industry where employees have frequent face-to-face interaction with clients. Finally, how do upper management generate positive emotions at workplace? Some companies seem to be well aware of the dual cognitive emotional attitude process because they try to inject more positive experience in the workplace. For example, Google Incorporated is famous for its superbs, including in-house coffee bars, gourmet cafeterias, conversation areas that look like vintage subway car, personal development courses, game rooms, free haircuts, and slide to descend to the floor below. Some critics might argue that the organization's main focus should be to create positive emotions to the job itself, as well as natural everyday occurrences such as polite customers and supportive coworkers. Overall, corporate leaders need to keep in mind that emotions shape employee attitudes and attitudes influence various forms of work-related behavior. That's all from us. Thank you for lending your ears and spending your time. Move to the next question answers.
Hello, my name is Nur Ali Atira and I will explain about the definition and level of task interdependence. Task interdependence can be defined as a task that requires team members in organization to be able to work both independently and collaboratively. In a simple word, the person must perform their task without any help by another person in the organization. Usually, task interdependence will be applied as there are many tasks to do in the organization. Not only the organization, but students also apply task interdependence during their learning process in school. Next, one of the task interdependence level is pool interdependence. It can be defined as the most open structure among the other level. It happens when project teams split comparable resource or tasks and work it independently. The existence of this pool interdependence is to ensure that everyone will show their own effort to complete tasks that be given by the top management. For example, school organization can be seen as pool interdependence as all the teachers teach different subjects independently. However, they still have the same goals in which to teach students in the school.
Hi, I'm Ika. I want to explain about sequential interdependence. In sequential interdependence, your team member rely on each other in predictable way for the flow of information, work, and decision. Each person output become the input for the next person in the sequence. The sequential interdependence is an effective design when some parts of the team's task can be standardized, but other parts need to be modified and customized depending on the situation or client at hand. For example, at the manufacturing company, assembly line are the typical example of sequential task interdependence. In a furniture factory, one worker may build the wooden frame before sending the couch to the second worker who would add the spring. Before a fourth worker install the couch cover, a third worker may add the cushion and stuffing. Next level is reciprocal interdependence. Reciprocal and sequential dependency have one thing in common. They are both models in which one team relies on the performance or output of another to achieve its objective. Reciprocal interdependence is a two-way street. Both team or department are relying on one another, holding everyone accountable for achieving goals and completing duties. It's called a cyclical process. Consider how a circular workflow might be implemented in a software firm. A fantastic product is created by a development and engineering team. The marketing department generates quality leads and sales possibility for the sales department, which boosts income. Customers receive excellent customer service and support from the onboarding and customer success team. As the cycle progresses, the company gets increasingly profitable. They are able to hire more and more high-quality employees as the company grows. This model, on the other hand, argues that if one phases in the cycle fails, the entire process will fail. Thank you.
Women participation in management has been shown to empower subordinates. This is because it can lead to a better management of conflict, where when subordinates are motivated, it can easily avoid any issue arise, especially when the women are in high position, where they can conduct a better leadership style which could make other women inspired by her spirit. However, it also can help to improve decision making and performance of the subordinates. This is well to be said because they can help to empower other women since it is not possible for women to have a high position in the workplace. Women somehow will have high support from other women since women usually do support each other in order to achieve the same decision making.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you to the class presenter for your presentation. And my name is Muhammad Imran bin Muhammad Noor. And the first point that I will present is the leadership style used by women is consider employee to be valuable as individual, not just as employees, because every employee involvement is important to ensure organizational goals are achieved successfully. Thus, to ensure that individual values are maintained, women leaders will pay more attention to the growth and engagement of their team. For example, involving employees in the decision-making process, so that employees are clear and understand the objective set by the organization and the tasks that will be performed by them. The implication is that the employee will believe their effort and skill are valued and will increase their trust in their leaders.
Furthermore, transformational leadership is more congenial to women's leaders. This is well to be said because the transformational leadership style conducted by women appear to have benefit companies that need to achieve short-term goals or require intervention to make change during a crisis. Moreover, women's style of problem solving is based on intuition and rationality, where their leadership is a better approach and the company is a better position to deal with various forms of challenge from a different perspective. On the other hand, women leadership possess abilities that are useful during time of crisis. For example, women have a good communication skill and the capacity to encourage others. This was stated as an attribution that might be advantageous in such situation. Moreover, most women have a wide range of communication skill and resources which enable her to effectively connect with people and be able to resolve problems and tackle challenge.
Okay, the other point is the supportive leadership style practiced by women leaders is very effective and flexible. This is because this style shows concern and empathy for the employee, and the treatment given to the employee is dignified and respectful. Employees will feel valued and care, and employees trust their leader to help them manage the uncertainties they face. Additionally, this style involves people-oriented behavior, where leaders view the importance of completing a particular task and at the same time also aim to increase motivation, job satisfaction, and employees' relation. This style provides emotional support to employees in case employees are having problems so that they stay inspired and still have good motivation toward their organization and leader.